Hello and welcome to Hard Way Learning, where we look stupid so you don't have to. Today we are working on the RS3, and what most people's dreams is owning sharks with lasers. Well, for us, it's installing lasers on cars. So you might ask, why would you install lasers on cars? Well, I think it's just a cool thing to do, and I think it'll be useful for a car that's going to have a lot of highway miles where you might be driving just a little faster than traffic speed and you don't want to draw attention to yourself. And you know, somehow these lasers, they tell you when there's cops around. I don't know why, because you know, it's just like a beam of light in front of your car. And then somehow it also does this thing where like the cop may be shooting a laser at your car, and for some reason that laser that they're using doesn't like work right or something. And so I don't know. So I don't know. So we have the whole front clip of the car off. Dan took a PTO day to take the front clip of the car off, and kind of reminds me of the intercooler install. Insert clip here. Full on race car mode, I tell you. But what we want to do is put the lasers in kind of a discrete location, because you don't really want other people to know that you have lasers, even though it's like kind of cool to have lasers on something. But we want to kind of make them subtle, look kind of OEM, like it's not. There's nothing to see here. There's nothing going on. Because really, it's kind of the kits are pretty expensive, and we don't want anyone to steal it from the car, right? So we have the front clip off. We're going to figure out where we're going to put these lasers, and then we are going to figure out where we're going to put the controller for the lasers, because like, you know, it'll give you some lights and stuff, and lights are cool, right? Somewhere in here. And oh, that is trick as hell. That looks OEM. Where does the cable go? Did you already snake it back there? Dan.
Well, it's a little ribbon cable.
This is the details guy right here, I tell you what. That is...
There's the GPS thing up here.
Wow, that is cool.
High-tech stuff here. Got our bubble level double-sided tapes to the side of the old Milwaukee drill. The receiver and transmitter heads for the Stinger radar are different sizes. I think it's a 7/64 and a 1/8 bit, with the receiver being the bigger of the two, which is in this case going to be the outside one, and then the transmitter is going to be the inside one. I just roughly marked up some holes. We put in a piece of plastic behind here. I guess ideally probably could maybe gone down, but you kind of want to hit center mass and closer to the headlights, because that's where, you know, an officer of the law may direct their laser gun. So now we're going to try and get it so that you're either at level or plus, ideally 5 degrees up. Stinger says between 0 and 10 is good. We're probably gonna have the car weighed down with the rear more weight, or you know, raked a little bit forward, where the front is higher. So kind of a crapshoot to figure out, but I'm just gonna go so that my little bubble level here is on the tall side of between the lines, and you know, just drill into this, kind of try and hit it so it's in line. I don't know, it's easier to see this direction than up and down, but I feel pretty good about that. And then we're just gonna have the trigger on the drill, you know, be real sticky when I want to use it, and get it there so that it's, you know, seems good. And then we're just gonna start drilling and see what happens.
You sell new drills for these, right?
I figure worst case, we do like everybody else and pull out the crash bar and this centerpiece so we get more airflow.
Oh yeah, does this plastic come off the grill?
Yeah, I mean, everything comes off if you've got the right kind of saw blade.
Because people do have their crash bar.
Well, something went through. We got the plastic polyethylene or whatever kind of plastic. Definitely not a cutting board.
How do we know that the cutting board is the one that's magnetic is still in its position? I mean, those are on pretty hard, but because you have both pieces, the one that's magneted.
I took off the back side because I figured I'd drill it after the fact.
Oh, how are you gonna know where to drill it?
I'm just gonna put this in there, hold it when I pull the bumper off, and then just drill through again.
Sure. Dan smart.
Because I just figured these would probably potentially push off.
They would definitely. That's what I was worried about.
There's indeed 3 of them. I kind of figured it wasn't going to be centered, but that's not terrible, in all honesty.
So where's that other piece? Show I demonstrate.
So now we're going to end up wanting to magnet onto there, and we'll have to drill through again so that both pieces have a hole drilled through at the same angle. And then we're gonna glue our heads into this one, and when we ever have to remove the bumper in the future, our little mount will stay. You know, it's not exactly the same install as those guys are doing on a Lambo, but I figure this is worth at least a couple $1,000s in installation fees. Here's CA glue faster.
What did we learn the hard way today? JB Weld doesn't adhere to everything. Do you have an example piece?
No, because we shaved the JB Weld off and reused these same.
Did you get those lined up with their drilly holes? Looks like you did.
I did.
Very nice, very nice. So we're gonna try CA glue and we're gonna see if that works. Okay? If it doesn't, we'll just burn the whole. All right, so what are we good at doing? Learning that first attempt is always going to be wrong and we will have to correct it, find a better solution. We already talked about the gluing issue, JB Weld, what the heck. But now we are routing our laser beams. So we have the passenger side laser beams. Dan has, oh nice, double-sided tape, the old ballast things. I don't know if they're actually ballast, is that what they call them?
Right.
Blows raspberries. We have those. Cabling running up along here, stealth along here. We took the ECU out so that we could run the cables behind it, kind of hold it up against there, and feed it into the old firewall back there. And then we'll come into the footwell. We're running these cables in a similar location that we ran the, well, the exact same location that we ran the ethanol content sensor. So through there, and then we're gonna put the control box in here. And then hopefully,
We gotta find a place for that speaker too.
yeah, oh yeah, this weird 90s. This is a vibe right here. That is like some,
That is period correct for the Miata.
that we should put on the Miata, absolutely.
In fact, that's what's in the headrest.
That is exactly what's in the headrest.
Wow, your remote installation of that in the Miata, you could put that speaker in the headrest. That would be so dope.
All right, so one key tool to this laser beam install is a body reamer for an RC car.
High dollar.
It's like a $40 reamer right there, isn't it?
Yeah, but we're just using it to kind of
Clean up the...
clearance out, especially the piece that we glued into the back of the bumper here, in order to have the 2 heads in our detachable piece here that'll stick with the car once we have it like that. In order to kind of allow the 2 heads to guide into the mount that we have on the back of the bumper, it's helpful to just have a little bit bigger hogged out hole so that you're not really struggling to get them into the hole initially.
Yeah, did we upsize the drill bit you're using too?
We ended up using an 1/8 inch for both holes because the heads, I don't know, if they are different size, they're so close that it's still a pressure fit, friction fit for both of those into the 1/8 hole that was produced. And then for the piece that's going to stick with the car, we also ended up drilling through this 3/16 bit because the outer diameter of the receiver head has a smaller diameter section. So we ended up having to actually drill through the piece that's going to stick with the car, the 3/16 bit, so that it actually fit in there while mounting flush to holes in the bumper so that they're not sticking out or too far recessed in. So now we'll drill one of these 3/16 bit, which is the outer one, so that we can make sure everything sits flush.
To drill the holes in the bumper without the little mating plastic piece, we remounted the bumper, put a bubble level on our drill so that our
we were just a little proud of level angling the heads up,
yeah,
because that's what the manual states. They say anything within 0 to 10 degrees should be okay with an ideal angle of 5 degrees. I don't really have a dead-on measurement on here, but
we could put our other level on there and see.
I made sure that I had a level on the drill bit and then stuck this guy onto the side of the drill so that they were reading the same, and then took the one obviously off the drill bit and just drilled this so that we were just hitting the line level that, or you know, level that way.
Then we stuck the other magnet piece that the lasers are gonna reside in and drilled the rest of the way through, having someone hold. I sacrificed my fingers holding that second piece that the lasers will get glued into. This way the bumper is still removable. Dan saw this installation method for a Huracan somewhere on Instagram or something, so we stole that idea. Figured, you know, this has half of a Huracan engine, so it's basically a Huracan. It deserves the same style of install.
But at a, you know, maybe lower overall.
No, we're professionals.
I love that we keep calling it later fiber optic heads to diffuse lasers.
Still lasers. Fiber optic lasers.
Laser countermeasure.
And what are we? We're measuring counters. So we're using our 12 volt power source constant on behind this guy. This is straight to the battery. We have our ground here, and then inside we are tapped into where we, I forget which fuse this is, but we used it for our ethanol content sensor. You need a 12 volt switched. That goes to the controller. That's the orange wire. So constant 12 volts, red wire, orange wire is 12 volt switched, and then black is ground. This will plug into the little control box. We're gonna hide that back into the dash here. And then we'll put the speaker, the 90s speaker, under the seat probably, somewhere down there. And then we should be ready to cruise down the road.
Moment of truth here.
Got a USB stuck to it. This light up beyond.
Power's not plugged
I
in.
need power. That would probably help, huh?
Welcome.
I heard something.
It said welcome.
It spoke to me. Why isn't this lighting up? It's supposed to light up. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Oh jeez.
Welcome.
Oh, there's blink.
Update process.
Update process.
No microphone, just a speaker.
Hello. Update. Stinger.
Welcome. The update has finished successfully.
Update is finished successfully.
Alright.
Sender bed! I think blinking green means that you're safe. There's no sharks in the area. Ooh, now it's red. What does that mean?
I don't know. Should we go read about it?
Details guy? No. Details guy? Yes. Wrapping up the old Stinger install, putting the control box. It's this panel over here. Hopefully it'll still close.
It's gonna rub maybe.
That's
it
fine.
might be good to, if we have any like adhesive foam or anything.
The sunroof will rattle more than that.
So now we just need to get the speaker somewhere. Looks like it could be mounted to the deck of a pontoon from 1983. In fact,
A pontoon?
my grandpa has one. Perfect for.
Could you just double-sided tape it to the other side of the Stinger?
Not on the outside.
I mean, I'm saying on the fuse box side.
Well, the foam thing goes, so we might have to cut some of that foam or something.
Hmm.
And that wasn't even
It didn't do any stuttering.
right, but it's shifting at 70. 500 maybe? 7,000?
Was I shifting higher?
Yeah, it wasn't even, I was in S or Sport,
It must like S more.
and it was like not showing the shift light.
I almost wonder if it's a TCU thing, since we're running fucking old custom code TCU. If it's like a torque limit. I don't know. It's pretty quick. It didn't stutter there at all either. Maybe it just is figuring out fueling.
Maybe.
Or it's just ready to blow up. No one knows.
Check the spark plugs when we get back.
Yeah. Ooh.